put together a course, get it up online, sit back and enjoy the sales flowing into your business, right? Wrong. The sales funnel you decide to use as the main driver of your business is massively important. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 most common sales funnels and why most of them are an absolute disaster to focus on. And I'm going to show you the 1 funnel that you absolutely need in your business if you are a coach selling higher ticket services. First and foremost, a disclaimer, there are no easy paths. So if you're climbing a mountain, you still have to get to the top of the mountain. There's no helicopter that's going to come pick you up and bypass the work you have to do. With that said, there are easier paths and simpler paths and smarter and faster paths. But there's no easy, okay? So if you're looking for easy, stop watching this video. You're not the right person I want to speak to in the first place, and you're probably not going to do that well in business. Just be honest, okay? So with that said, let's dive right into the first one, which is the course funnel. The stereotypical, I have a course, I sell it online for a couple $100, set it and forget it. I want to make passive income. That is 100% absolute garbage, okay? But I get this, like everything I'm sharing with you is coming from personal experience. I started online back in 2005, okay? So I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and everything I'm showing you here is from actual experience. I'll show you some very specific data to show you I'm not just making this stuff up. But when it comes to building a course, let's first and foremost understand that your clients are not getting results. They're not going to even log in. They're not going to do the work, and therefore they're wasting their money and they're wasting their time even thinking they're doing results, okay? So it's very, very hard to make a course work. And the reason for that is because if you think of the fundamental understanding that conversions come from conversations, okay? You will have higher conversions and more conversions if you speak with your prospects, right? Just that makes sense, doesn't it? Or do you actually think that people who've never heard of you are going to somehow go to your webpage, click a buy now button, and drop hundreds of dollars on your course? Now you might say, okay, Yuri, well, like I'm speaking to my email following and my social following. That's great. But here's what I often see. Hey, so-and-so, how's it going? Good. How's business? Awesome. What do you focus on? Well, I'm focused on selling my course. Awesome. Great. How much do you charge for it? I charge $200. That's great. How many sales have you made? 15. 15? Okay, cool. How have you sold it? It's to my social media following. Awesome. Cool. Your social media following is 2,000 people. Great. You've now tapped out. You're done. 15 people times $200 is a whopping $3,000. Congratulations. You don't have a business. You are going out of business. And thinking that you're going to grow your social media following in the near future to amount to any type of sales that are going to be significant in terms of your bank account is just not going to happen, okay? So when you are building a course, the important thing I want you to understand is that you are fundamentally getting people to move to the sale without ever speaking with you. And that's very, very hard because number one, the only time I see this work is if you are world class in terms of marketing and operations. When I say operations, I mean you have to be like an operator. Like you understand how to build funnels, how to track metrics, how to optimize funnel flows, etc. And quite honestly, it's nearly impossible, I say nearly impossible, for most health practitioners and coaches to have any degree of success with this. And let me be very clear, selling a couple courses is not a business. It's not a business. It's a hobby and it's not passive income. You have to build the course. You're thinking about how am I going to make this, making more sales? Am I going to post some dancing videos on social media? It's not passive. There is no passive income. Your business is where you make working income. The profit you take out of that business can then be invested into other vehicles that are more passive. But if this is your primary business, please do not get into the mindset of passive income. It does not exist in your business. Now, courses have huge scale opportunity. You can sell a course forever. There's no bottlenecks. Like people want to talk to you. You can sell thousands upon thousands, but again, you're going to run into some customer service stuff on the back end. There's all sorts of stuff you got to think about, okay? The biggest bottleneck is going back to you have to be an amazing writer. You have to be an amazing copywriter specifically, which ties into marketing. You have to be an amazing copywriter. You have to be an amazing marketer, like really in the top 1% of people who understand how to craft offers, who understand how to influence people and move into action without ever speaking to them on the phone or on Zoom. It's very, very hard to do that, okay? And I think also fundamentally is your customers are not going to do the work, right? You can go into Kajabi or whatever you're using and you can look at when they logged in, the progress they're making, and 9 times out of 10, they're doing nothing. And if people don't do anything with your stuff, guess what's going to happen? They don't get results or they're going to ask for a refund, okay? It sucks. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Now, I want to be very clear about this. When you see the big launches, and many of my friends, you probably know them, run very big launches online, and we're like, oh my God, I'm going to launch a course for $2,000 or $500. Let me do this whole launch model. Here's the thing you have to understand. These guys and gals who are doing these massive launches, the people promoting them are making some serious cash, okay? In terms of the commissions, in terms of bonuses, in terms of their sales leaderboard, all this kind of stuff. And the reason they're able to make money is because the people doing these launches are experts at persuasion, are experts at positioning their thing in such a way that people want to buy. Most of us are not that person. Okay, we can develop into that, but it's very, very hard. It is not a type of business model that you can sustain, right? Most people simply burn out by that. So let's say you're selling your course to your social following. Cool. You get a trickle of sales. And then what? Affiliates are going to promote it? No one's promoting it if it's not selling, because then they're not going to make a commission. Why would they send an email or promote it to their list when they could do other things to promote to their list and make more money? Paid ads? You're not going to run paid ads profitably to a course that's a few $100s unless you are a beast in terms of funnel optimization, etc. Okay. And I'm going to show you an example. In the next funnel, I'm actually going to walk you through the exact upsell funnel flow of one of our biggest launches. And I'm going to show you how much of a nightmare it is if you want to run this type of business. And then again, we talked about launching. I mean, unless you know the biggest players in the market, no one's going to be sending you any kind of traffic that's going to lead to any appreciable number of sales to put a dent in your bank account. And again, no one's promoting your stuff unless they are making a lot of money. Okay. I just want to be very clear about that. So in terms of this course model, you think you're just going to put it up there and sit back. But the reality is that if you want it to do well, most of your time is spent optimizing the offer. It's spent optimizing the funnel, is split testing different price points and all kinds of stuff. You turn into a marketer instead of someone who actually works with people and who can grow a business without being in the weeds all the time. The bigger bottleneck initially is just making sure there's product to market fit. That's the biggest challenge in any new offer. Are people going to buy it? You don't know. And trying to make that work is very hard to do if you're getting people to go to a checkout page and expecting them to buy at scale. Okay, so I'm sharing this with you because I've done this dozens of times. It's a very hard model to make work. I've done it very successfully. I've also made a lot of mistakes. So I'm sharing this with you, not of like theory, but of actual in the trenches experience. So that's the course funnel. For most people, I don't recommend it. It's a complete waste of time for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Okay. Now, the second funnel is the free plus shipping funnel. So free plus shipping is essentially, I have this book, you can get it now, it's free, just cover the shipping cost. You've probably seen this stuff, you probably even purchased one of these, and it can go both ways. So it can be like a physical book and you cover the shipping cost, or it can be a digital book and you pay a processing fee. That's how they like hide the fee. So let me ask you this, how do you think these people make that work? Do you think they just give away books and that's it? So why would a business do a free plus shipping type of offer? So number one is we understand that risk needs to be mitigated in order for people to buy, right? If someone's going to buy from you, they're taking on more of the risk unless the offer is super compelling. And that's where a free plus shipping offer comes in. So the offer is like, this book is free, just cover shipping for $4.95, $7.95, whatever it is. So you're thinking to yourself, well,
what's the big deal? I'm going to lose a couple bucks. If it sucks, who cares?
If you're trying to sell that type of thing on the front end for $795, the risk on the customer is massive, which is why they're not going to buy unless there's an exceptional guarantee that reduces all the risk. But the reason free plus shipping offers are so popular is because they increase front-end conversions, because they reduce the customer risk, which means more people buy. Now, the other thing too is you have to understand, if this goes back to what I talked about the course funnel, is that you have to become an amazing marketer and operator. Because if you're bringing clients or customers in on the free and you're covering the initial cost of like the shipping costs, et cetera, and they're paying a part of that, you have to think about how can I liquidate my acquisition costs on the front end. So most serious business owners do this type of stuff with affiliate partners who they're paying, or they're paying some type of traffic source like Facebook ads, Google ads, etc., and they're having to pay, call it $100 to acquire clients. And if they're only charging $4.95 for shipping, they have a $95 deficit. How do you think they're going to make that up? Well, you need an upsell flow so that you can self-liquidate. Essentially, you can make $100 on the $100 spend. You've broken even. You have all these customers now, and now you have this pool of customers that you can sell other stuff to. I have never seen a newbie actually do this well. I've actually not seen a newbie even venture to think about doing a free plus shipping offer. It's very risky as a business owner to do this, unless you are very, very savvy. And I'm going to show you on the screen right now what I'm talking about. So you can see this is actually my former company that I sold. This is actually an internal document. So it was our wiki. And you can see here that this is our free plus shipping right here, free plus shipping community cookbook. Now for context, we sold, I don't even know, 35,000 copies of this. Okay. We had days where commissions were coming in $50,000 commissions on the daily. Okay. Ridiculous volume. But the key here is that if we're getting 50% commissions, or the portion of the sale, our affiliates were making 75%. Which means they were making way more. If we're getting 50, we were giving away 150,000, okay, in total commissions across all these different people. So I just want to show you how complicated this is. So we have order form bumps. 7-day meal plan for $69, cookbook or cooking videos for $70, digital versions $10 for this report, another report we could test for $5. And then we had a number of different upsell flows. So when people purchase, an order bump is like the checkbox on the checkout page itself, which says, hey, do you want the audio version of this? Or would you like to just add this to your cart really easily on the checkout page? So we tested a number of different bumps to increase the average order value so we can recoup more money up front and liquidate our costs, okay? Now, the upsell flows is what happens after someone puts their information in. They don't go right to a thank you page, because if they do, you're losing money and you can't do that. So you can look at this. We have flow number 1, flow number 2, flow number 3, flow number 4. So we had 4 different upsell flows, okay? Not just like one upsell flow, 4 distinct upsell flows. And check out the insanity here is each upsell flow had 4 upsells. First upsell flow, FBMC for $79, comfort food collection for $15, healthy fast food collection for $21, on-the-go snacks. These were all different cookbooks, etc., that we decided to test out to see what would increase average order value the most. This is madness, okay? First and foremost, you try coming up with 4 upsells that people actually want to buy. Then, if you're insane like I was, is you don't just have one upsell flow with 4 different options. You split test 4 different ones for a total of 16 different variables. For what? So you can increase the average order value from $19 to $23? That's the fucking game we were playing. And this was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm like, what ridiculous nonsense. What kind of business am I running here? Like, I don't want to run this. And it just goes on and on. There's another, there's a 5th upsell flow, a 6th upsell flow. So we end up split testing across 2 different dates, 6 friggin' upsell flows for a free cookbook. And we made it work. We made it work. We are profitable. There's a reason that I don't do that anymore. There's a reason I don't recommend you do this, because it is absolutely exhausting. So when I say you have to become a master operator and like ninja when it comes to thinking about how to craft an offer that more people say yes to, this is what's required, okay? So when you're looking at these free plus shipping offers online, don't for a second think it's as simple as, oh, I just get a free cookbook or a free thing and I just pay for shipping. Understand the mechanics of what goes into that for that business to continue running that at profit. At scale. It's doable, it is, but it's very hard to do. A friend of mine is in the supplement space, runs an 8-figure business, and I was asking him, I'm like, hey, how long does it take you to break even on a new client, on a new customer? Because they run a lot of Facebook ads to the supplements. Now, again, supplements are in this realm of like low ticket stuff. Average order value, $100 to $200, let's say. 6 months. 6 months, he told me, in his case. So he's in the red for 6 months to break even on a $200 customer. And I don't know about you, but that's not the type of business that I really want to run. I want to run a business where I can pay for my clients in the first 30 days, where if I spend $100, I'm making more than $100 right away. And that's exactly how we built Healthpreneur. But I have this perspective to share with you because I've done all of it, okay? Most funnels are a complete waste of time for the reasons I have mentioned, okay? Now, here's one more thing I'm going to mention to you about the free plus shipping offer. My number 2 New York Times bestselling book, The All Day Energy Diet, was built on a free plus shipping offer. So let me give you the mechanics of how that one worked. I spent $300,000 to buy my books, okay? So I could own the order process. Because I didn't want people going to Amazon, because then I couldn't monetize that flow. And I could not get partners to promote the book because they would make no money if they just sent people to Amazon. So it was a lose-lose. So what I did is I said, I'm gonna buy 11,000 copies of the book. I'm gonna pay $300,000, I think that's what we had to pay. I'm gonna house the books, and that way I can run everything through our payment processing platform. Because of that, we then were able to build out another maniacal, crazy upsell flow. And what that allowed us to do was it allowed us, because I knew that I couldn't sell enough books by myself to hit the New York Times list, I needed everyone in the health space to mail out. We're talking about the Hymans, the JJ Virgins, everyone, okay? And thankfully, many of these people, were very close to me, and I got a lot of support. But that would never have happened if there was nothing in it for them. So again, I took the risk of spending $300K to acquire the books. We were gonna take care of fulfilling them and sending them out. And I got my partners, all these different venture partners, to email their list to buy the book. And they came to our site, purchased it through our site, and they went through an upsell flow. Now, here's the cool thing about this, is that we tested this for 9 months. Wasn't like 9 days. We launched in September. We started testing this whole process in March of 2014. So by the time the book launched and we had tested this out through Facebook ads, through a couple different kind of beta versions of it, we knew that if our partners were able to promote this, they would do well. And I'm gonna see if I can even pull this up if I have some stats to show you here. I'm just gonna show you the leaderboard of some of the people here, okay? So you can see like the number of hops is the number of visits that these people sent us. So 30,000 visits, 21,000 visits, 18,000 visits. And here are some of the commissions that they made, off a few emails. And you can see we have a lot of different affiliate partners here. There's north of 50. And in case you don't know who these people are, you're not supposed to, but they're some of the biggest, most influential people in the health and wellness space. New York Times bestselling authors, the big influencers that you probably already know. Here's the thing to remember is that most book launches make no money because the people running the book launches don't know how to run a funnel properly. Our book launch at the time made most of our affiliates, most of our partners 5 times more money than they had made in any other book that they have promoted. And the reason for that is because we tested the hell out of this. And so when I say a free plus shipping offer is not viable for most businesses, it's because it's freaking hard, okay? And you have to be so good at this to then sell everyone in your space to promote the book, because it's not just about the book or the thing, it's about how much money they're gonna make in promoting your stuff as opposed to promoting their own stuff. The final thing I'll mention about a free plus shipping offer or even a course funnel in which you're essentially breaking even at best, unless you're amazing and you're doing more on the front end, is that one of the reasons I sold my previous company was that I didn't like what was happening to it, in the sense of we had all these customers, but we didn't have enough products internally to make up the back end. So if we spent $100 to acquire a customer and we broke even, we had nothing else to sell them that was converting. What ended up happening is that on the back end, every day we're promoting someone else's thing. Go buy this workout program, buy this nutrition program. It was just ridiculous, okay? And there are a lot of businesses online that run that type of affiliate model, and they have to, because if you are losing money on the front end, you have to make up on the back end. And if you don't have enough internal SKUs or products yourself, you have to promote someone else's stuff, because how else are you gonna make money? It's not a good business model, at least not for me. I did not enjoy it in the slightest. Healthpreneur, I don't think we've done a single affiliate deal in 6 years. So with all that said, and I hope this is making sense, well, what's the one sales funnel that I do recommend? First and foremost, you're watching this most likely because you're a coach, you're a health professional, you're someone who's selling, hopefully, some higher ticket services. With that said, I recommend running a call funnel. And if you've watched any of my other videos, specifically what I'm talking about is one specific funnel, which I'll get to in a second. And hopefully this is making sense. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe, drop me a comment below, whatever. You know the deal. I'm going to show you 2 different types of call funnels. So you've got 2 different types of funnels. So I'll just put a line down the middle. You've got version 1, which is where you have a traffic source. It doesn't matter what the traffic source is, okay? It could be Facebook ads, Google, affiliates, email, social media, and that's going to go to some type of opt-in page. And the opt-in page in many cases is going to be like a lead magnet, right? So opt in to get this free cheat sheet, PDF, whatever. So you opt in, and then the next thing that happens, this is the most important real estate in any business online, is the next page. Because you have people at the prime of their heat, they are the most interested at this point. The next page can't be go check your email. It's whoa, you just wasted 100% of people will see this next page who opt in. Okay, this is the big opportunity. So what a lot of people do is they put a video, and then they have a CTA right there, which is hey, quick little video, call to action below, click to book a call, okay? And so it's a very simple model, okay? Traffic source, you have a lead magnet. On the thank you page, you have a video with an offer, which is to book a call. I have a lot of friends in this space, and many of them run this type of model. And we've run this model, about 25 different versions of it with different lead magnets and different offers to book a call. What I've noticed over time is that a lot of them think that your most successful clients are too busy. They're too busy. They got to get right to the point. So if you run this type of thing, you're going to get the top 5% of the market who are ready to go now. And I have just not seen that to be the case. Right? I have not seen that to be the case. We have clients that do north of $100 million who didn't come through this funnel, and they're very successful and they're very busy. And remember, most of our clients are busy practitioners who are working 80 hours a week in a clinic, don't have time for anything. We still don't run them through this type of funnel. And the reason for that is that over time I've noticed, and I've said this before, is that the more people pay, the more they pay attention, right? We've talked about this in previous videos, we're talking about premium pricing, but there's a flip side to that equation. The more people pay attention, the more likely they are to pay you, because attention is the most important currency we are all vying for. If someone opts in from a short little ad, as an example, to get a 1-page cheat sheet where there's no commitments, what's the likelihood of their paying attention to the whole process? What's the likelihood that they're committed to that outcome? The short answer is that it's a very, very low commitment. And again, if I could show you some data, which I can't find, but in this business, so my previous health and fitness wellness business online, we had our blog. And our blog had 12 different content pillars. Each one of those pieces of content was tied in with a very specific lead magnet, and that lead magnet was related to the content. So people would read a blog post on intermittent fasting. We'd have a lead magnet for intermittent fasting. They'd opt in, and then on the next page, we'd make them a bunch of offers and upsell flows, blah, blah, blah. Guess how many percentage of people who opt in for the cheat sheet or the lead magnet actually open the email with the download? If you said less than 50%, you're correct. So less than 50% of people who are like, I want this cheat sheet, even open the email that was sent to them with the thing they requested. So my question to you is this: if you're looking for high-end, committed clients who are willing to spend good money with you, why would you run them through a funnel that doesn't get them to commit in any way, shape, or form? And you might say, okay, Yuri, well, what do I do instead? Well, let me ask you this. Were you ever moved to action by a pamphlet? As an example, I was at the gym I worked out at last week, and there was a pamphlet on pumpkin seeds, pumpkin seed protein. And I'm like, cool, good to know. Pumpkin seed is the most protein out of any plant. I didn't know that. Interesting. But did I do anything about it? No. By contrast, how about the last time you saw a documentary? Like a documentary that was, maybe something that was health related or something that really inspired or challenged you to want to be better. Like The Game Changers, as an example, a documentary about, eating more plant-based foods. The difference here is significant because when you watch a documentary, you're invested. Call it an hour. When you read a pamphlet, call it a minute. You're not going to be transformed by a pamphlet, but you will fundamentally change how you think about the topic watching a documentary. And that leads me to the second funnel, which is still a call funnel. We're trying to get people on the phone here. And the second funnel, so I'm just going to give this a big X. What I recommend over here is the following. Now, I'm going to lay this out a little bit differently than I have before, but this is what we call a perfect client pipeline. So here we have a traffic source at the top. And in our case, we run ads that end up showing on Facebook and Instagram. It leads people to a webinar or a masterclass. And this is very important. Then we move people to an application, and then we have a call, okay? So the difference here, there are many nuances, obviously, but the big difference here is this middle piece, is the webinar. You're a busy people, successful people don't have time to watch a webinar. I agree. I don't watch webinars. But we've also built an 8-figure business on this one funnel. This is how we've helped our clients do more than $217 million in their businesses with this one funnel. So why don't I watch webinars? Well, maybe I haven't come across a webinar that was really captivating exactly something I needed to help with. I love soccer. I watch a lot of soccer, to be honest. I don't think most TV is very uplifting, so I watch a lot of soccer. Maybe a couple hours a week. For me, that's how I spend my time, just kind of disconnect. And when people say, well, I don't have time to watch an hour-long webinar, all they're saying is, this is not that important to me. That's it. Purpose of this funnel, if you think about it juxtaposed in a different fashion, is this. It's a funnel. It's a filter. It is all about kicking people out. It's removing people who are not a good fit. If you don't want to watch my webinar, you're never working with me. I promise you that. Okay? People book a call with me or with our team. The first thing I tell them on the thank you page is, hey, great job in taking the first step. Watch the webinar below if you haven't watched the full thing. If you have not watched the full thing, we're canceling the call. I don't have time to fuck around with people, okay? I'm sure you understand that I'm a very straight shooter, no BS kind of guy. I have zero tolerance for bullshit and people who are not serious about stuff. And when you run this type of funnel, the funnel takes care of all those people. Now, there's obviously a couple people that slip through the cracks, but that's better than most people slipping through the cracks. So I'm a huge fan of the perfect client pipeline. I'm not delusional to think that there's no other options out there, but am I pretty dogmatic in the way, if you're a coach or a practitioner and you want high ticket clients and you want to have a system that works for you where there's a greater likelihood of qualified people ending up on the calls to you, this is the funnel that I'd recommend. And, for us, our clients typically see a 2 to 5x ROAS, return on ad spend, in the first 30 days with this type of funnel. Actually, on average, 2022 from the clients we collected data from, the average return on investment was 534%, which means they spent $1, they made $5.34 in return. Pretty good, right? So with this model, the one thing you have to be aware of is you're not setting it and forgetting it. The nice thing is you don't actually have to redo the webinar. The webinar most of our clients record is good enough the first time they do it. The only time you're spending optimizing this funnel is on the messaging side on the front, which is your ads or your copy on the front end, which you're gonna have to do anyways for anything. You can't just run one ad and expect everything to be amazing. You have to, your messaging has to be good. So you test a bunch of different ads, but it's not like you're posting stuff on Instagram that doesn't get seen by anyone. We're posting something, we're amplifying qualifying with money. Your perfect clients see it. They come into the webinar, they watch it. If they like what they see and they fit the criteria you're looking for, they book a call. So you're protecting your time through these barriers of entry into speaking with you. You're spending your time initially on the messaging, then you're spending time on the sales calls or the enrollment calls, depending on what type of volume you want to deal with. And then you're going to get to a point where you don't have time to take on those enrollment calls anymore. Or maybe delivery becomes a bottleneck. Like you can't take on more clients because delivery becomes a bottleneck. You can't take on any more clients there. And obviously there are ways to mitigate that and create better systems on the back end. So what we help our clients do, and the beautiful thing about this is like, it's a very predictable type of business model. We know exactly based on your pricing and based on your model of how you coach clients, what revenue levels bottlenecks at, where those bottlenecks are going to be, and exactly how to fix them. So I share all this with you because the sales funnel you decide to use as the main driver of your business is massively important. It is between that and the type of client you want to work with, your perfect client, your avatar, the two most important decisions you make in your business. So I know this is a longer video, but I hope I've given you a deep enough dive to help you fundamentally understand some of the math, some of the mechanics, some of the pros and cons, some of the myths and misconceptions around these different funnels. And again, I'm not saying a perfect client pipeline is easy. It's not. If you suck at sales, you're gonna run into some issues. If you don't know how to communicate to people, your results will be horrendous, but they will be horrendous in everything you do because you still haven't developed the skill of communication, which is one of the most important things we help our clients with. So anyways, I hope this has made sense. I hope you found this valuable. If you'd like a deep dive on exactly how I would start a coaching business from scratch to generating $1 million in 12 months or less, then I'd like you to watch the next video. I'm actually gonna break down the math of this type of funnel, the perfect client pipeline, step by step, and show you based on real numbers from our clients exactly how I would generate $1 million in 12 months or less. So if you're a coach with a coaching business, you're definitely gonna wanna check that out. It's over here. Watch it now. I appreciate you watching this, and I'll see you there.